Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today I'm playing with oil paint, and this is a part 2 in a landscape series. I don't usually film oil paintings, mainly because I've been taking kind of a longer route with them, and the videos themselves are less of like a tutorial, maybe more of a demo, more of an exploratory practice for me. But if you like that type of video format, this is the video for you. If you look in the link down below, there should be one for the video right before this. Pretty much took an imaginary landscape, a mixture of sap green and Pompeii reds, like a Venetian red, and just kind of played around and made up this scene. I am now going to take the oil paints and my Galkid medium and just kind of paint over this and start colorizing it, I guess. When I oil painted in college, we had a very a direct painting approach where we would mix color, apply it, try to match it up with what we were seeing and whatnot. While now this is kind of a more glazing, layering method. I'm not sure if this would be considered more of an old master method or what, and I personally feel it's one of those topics where you can ask 4 different people and you get 5 different answers. But I don't know. I hope you enjoy. I'll kind of just paint around for a little bit and ramble and talk a little bit about what I'm doing. This is, and hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, Severus Blue by Williamsburg Paint. I believe this Severus is named after a old style or region in France, potentially, of what was it, like a porcelain vases or Severus glass. I'm not quite sure, but I think let's see, does it say, did I put the tube away? Here it is. It's a mixture PW6 and PW15, PB15. So it's a white and I think a phthalo blue. Kind of coloring my whites. It's a very opaque paint. Just kind of rubbing it into, I'm going to let the sky be. Might even bring it down below. Very cerulean bluish. Scrub back even more with a Q-tip. That's the fun thing about this oil painting approach, just that back and forth. And I don't know if I mixed it, but mentioned it, but the medium I'm using is Galkid. And I don't think this painting will be anywhere near complete by the end of this video, but it's just me wanting to enjoy the process. Oil painting surfaces are usually expensive. I think this is about like a $6–7 gesso board from Hobby Lobby. which I think a lot of people would say is on the cheaper end. And even though it's totally possible to paint fast and loose in watercolor, in oil, and essentially that's what I'm doing, is just using those type of techniques to create various effects. You start getting a very large collection of oils in that fashion. And if you're painting on canvas or anything with depth to it, this is probably 3/4 deep. You start taking up room really fast. So I have been switching over to more panel painting. Let's just kind of scrub it in, and I think from there I'll then find another color to play with. I think the cats made their way into the bathroom again. The cats, for some reason, just love playing in the bathtub and the cabinets in the bathroom. I have yet to figure out why. Okay, let's go a little purplish with this. I believe I have a light red oxide that I can mix in. Transparent oxide red. This is by Rembrandt brand. I usually use light red oxide and ultramarine to mix kind of a distant purple. And we'll see how these two mix together. Kind of a slatish color. I may move away from this blue that I'm using to a different blue. We'll see. I may use it for some just darker spots. That's the one thing about oil painting that I think is a negative for me, is that if I start to put pigment in, or I put pigment down, I want to utilize it because of, it's expensive, but in actuality, I haven't really put down much, so I need to just learn to deal with it. Use this for clouds. And it might not seem like much of a change, but the idea is just long-term progress. A little change each time. I'm going to put out some ultramarine blue. And just to kind of give an idea why I shouldn't be so timid is that this sample, this Williamsburg sample, or if you go on their website and you kind of just mention what type of sample you're looking for, they'll send you some. That's been lasting me a while. I mean, I'm almost done with it, but it lasts quite a bit. Got some more galcid. Green blue in that transparent oxide. Hopefully the camera is showing how it's pushing towards that redder side. In a day or two, that new phone, new camera should be in. And then we'll be filming awesome videos. It's amazing how technology will progress, and you'll say to yourself, how can technology get any better? And then it gets way better. Because the phone I'm using now to film, it's fantastic, and I've had it for years. But once, obviously checking out a series, I guess 21 versus the series 8, it's quite a jump. My mother was saying that I think the Samsung 8 is no longer supported with updates, so gives you a little bit of idea of the age of the phone. Building up some of those darker areas. And the great thing about oils, you could put an idea in and then remove it if you don't like it. So you can kind of get an idea of how it'll look nice and dark in these spots. And if we don't like it, we could remove it. But I'm liking it. I have a tendency to push really dark really quickly. As you may have noticed, that I like dark, moody paintings. But just to emphasize, I really just want to enjoy the process. I did have a good farmer's market last weekend. I sold some watercolors. Oil paintings don't seem to sell that much. I'm going to list some of my oil paintings on Etsy. And I'll have a bunch of oil paintings ready for the Omelet Festival, which is where they cook one of the largest omelets in the world in my hometown. And they make a festival out of it. I did sell some oils there 2 years ago. Looking for areas I want to bring out that dark in. I'm just using a bristle brush from Hobby Lobby. it may be nearing the end of its life since it's so worn out, but I get a good texture out of it. Now would be a great time for me to probably say, hey, if you want to support this channel and support with supplies, I have links down below, and I do have the Etsy, and I do have exclusive content. And I doubt this would be a video that you would follow along with, but if you choose to follow along with this series, you are more than welcome to sell anything that you do, anything that you follow along with from one of my channels. You're more than welcome to do that because I want you all to be successful. And you know, art supplies are expensive, so I want you to be able to afford art supplies. Two years ago I did the Alma Festival and did oil demonstrations, kind of just fast and loose. A lot of these paintings are in the style of Stuart Davies and Dennis Sheehan, two modern painters that I greatly admire. Dennis Sheehan and Stuart Davies have YouTube videos and different online courses. I would recommend checking them out if you're into that stuff. Chances are if you found this channel, you've already found them, to be honest. But I always like trying to point people in directions that'll help them out. Stuart Davies has been doing a lot of live video sessions lately, and I really want to join in on one of those. Another artist I greatly admire is David LaFell. He is associated with, I think it's the Artist Guild, and they have a website. Him, I believe his wife and another woman have a website where they have their paintings, tutorials, videos. I know they do in-person demos and workshops. They're more portrait and still life oriented. I love watching their work. So if you're looking for oil, still life, and portrait stuff, I would check out David LaFell. Okay. I feel like the light's a little dim on the film, and I hope it's coming across okay. I'm gonna put out some Italian lemon ochre. I have to thin that out too. They call the colors I'm grabbing, well, besides the transparent red oxide and the ultramarine blue, they're very opaque. Probably isn't the best for this stage, but you know, I did that underpainting. I'm just starting to put colors in and get ideas. And I do have a green. Let's use Corbet green. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I'll play around with those two, and then I'll end the video. I think the, I'm trying to just keep it under the 30-minute mark. I think we're at 18 right now. I'll grab this brush. Use this the lemon ochre to brighten up some of these spots. Use a little bit more Calcid. I'll put in that green, and then I think I'll put this one on the side for a bit, and we'll see what we're doing from there. All right, I'll be done in about 5 minutes. I think bacon was just cooked, which is super awesome. And I am super excited about that. This is the green, the Corbet, probably Corbet. Yeah. Side note, I had off from work today. They canceled work last night because we're having flooding down in Louisiana. A lot of lines of storms have been coming through, and some of the videos online have been pretty bad. All the way out in Lake Charles there was flooding, and in Baton Rouge there was flooding. There was in Lafayette. So they canceled school. Next week is the last week before summer break. Some parishes had went virtual today because of the rain, and the flooding, which makes sense. I think that will be the route that they'll take. And I think that's what I read up in, they're doing up in New York, is that as opposed to having snow days, I'm taking the texture of the paint and applying it, and let that catch them. Rather than having snow days, they'll have off. They'll do virtual those days. Which makes sense if we're going to move to what they call one-to-one. That's what the education field has been calling it, where they have technology, one computer per student type deal, where every student could have a laptop. But if they're going to move in that direction, then you should be able to hopefully go virtual when need be. Now, obviously that's not always the case, where not every home has internet, not every home has what they need just yet. I think that's the long-term goal. And it's weird that we're seeing that in my lifetime. I'm 35. The internet came out in the 90s. We didn't have a computer Then we got a computer when I was in high school. And of course the computer was used for like video games and stuff like that. You know, but computers have a lot of potential. So it's interesting seeing that happen. I always like to darken the corners of my paintings to kind of get that closed in, framed vibe. I think as this progresses, I'll do that more and more on this painting. I'll let this foliage texture come out. As Stuart Davies refers to it, it's the illusion of detail. See if we can scrape some highlights out in the meanwhile. Whether they'll remain or not is to be seen. And the medium that I use, it says about 24 hours to dry, but chances are I'll give it more than that. And tomorrow I have work, and then we'll do powerlifting practice. So I don't know if I'm going to oil after that. So we'll call this here. This will be day 2 of the tonal experiment. Hopefully the lighting will get better, and hopefully you enjoyed. I'll take a photo, I'll have it uploaded to YouTube, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.